longer flight path as compared to those that's on another side.
That's right, and we're seeing FFQ already dropping out as well, while ILLUMINATE is going to be heading in towards that coal mine that we always see them go to when it comes to Vikendi rounds. Well, for Bigetron Esports, they usually control the section of Tovar really well. So I'm wondering whether or not if there's going to be a little bit of that difference being set apart by some of these teams. Now, this time around, we're looking at VIP Squad not dropping in towards their signature Trevno, which leaves that place open up. Well, Cosmodrome's pretty much open wide, so they could just drop instantly in towards that huge place. Perhaps they might just be the astronauts sent all the way up into the sky to clinch that chicken dinner.
Obviously, like you said, VIP will drop it. But here we go, LYNX and EVOS dropping really close to one another. Hazel just managed to touch ground, and that's going to give EVOS a lot more time to loot about as LYNX get it to find their food.
That's right. Look at Foxy here, being the only guy inside of Mobatra. It's going to be pretty tough for him to even do much.
And NFT as well, dropping into Zabava, while, I like the way NFT has been playing throughout the 3 match. Although they haven't picked up a chicken dinner as well as high volume of kills, but NFT in general are a really decisive team. Once they decide to go for a fight, they usually commit to it. The only thing I don't really like about NFT is how conservative they are. Either of these teams have an advantage per se, but it's always nice to have the town all to yourself.
That's right, and for EVO's case, I think that they most likely will like to chase in for some of those kill points. Purple Mood, they finish up 2nd place in the previous round. And in the first game itself, I felt like they definitely secured quite a great points for their own squad, which you see all of these Thai teams here. 4 of them are currently sitting at that top 5 position as we tally up all the scoreboards.
Yeah, I think only Bigetron is the only one that's the only Indonesian team that is sitting in the top 5, which they are currently in 3rd place. And the only team which, even among the Thai teams, I think that's a little bit of a packing order to talk about. The only team that has been consistently getting all those points in, even if they do not pick up chicken dinners, is Mega Conqueror.
Oh, yes.
I mean, sitting at the top, even more points than ILLUMINATE Murder that managed to pick up the chicken dinner in Miramar.
Yeah, and as for Bigetron Esports, though they only secure 1 point, they are still in that top 5. That is a huge statement coming from champions of the C League. But now, look at VIP Squad. I really do like how they were playing inside of that corners of the mountains of Los Leones, and unfortunately for them, they did not make the cut in towards that top 5 position where we saw a lot of all those teams battling out by the corners of those ridges. And now, inside of Vikendi, well, Bigetron Esports, this is definitely their terrain, as we know them as the kings of Vikendi. But, the kings have only 1 map to play each of these Vikendi rounds. So could this be a sort of trouble for Bigetron Esports in the long run?
Well, in all honesty, even during the C League, during the interviews where we saw Bigetron, or rather we claim them to be the kings of Vikendi. Even during the interview, they also mentioned that, they are not exactly the strongest in this map. We have seen other teams perform pretty well, and now RRQ, they are under fire coming up for NFT. You can see Cole taking a couple of shots to the head, and RRQ just gonna right into the distance.
That's right, and NFT Esports here, they're just holding in towards that sort of corner of the road. And RRQ, we talk about them having better survival rates as before. And these teams, they may not have that crazy firepower as the likes of ILLUMINATE Murder or RRQ.ATHENA or so, but you know that they know how to get themselves in towards their desired survival point rates in that sort of sense. Now, Bigetron Esports, they've already moved out and about, and they're currently camping in this pretty much uncharted territory, which we hardly see them secure this compound. Usually they would like to take those hills and slowly snipe people away. I guess it's due to that fact that that circle was headed in towards a different path that they should play around. And look at the murder. They have not even moved out of that coal mine for the longest time.
Yeah, I think Koma has a lot to offer, not only loot, but in terms of rotation. We know ILLUMINATE Murder, once they are finished up with the looting phase, they like to travel a little bit to the southeastern end, where they have control, or the total control, if I put it that way, of the entire road. So, similar rotation as compared to what we saw in C League.
Well,
But this time around, no Crucial Gaming on the opposite end to challenge them with that bridge.
I would certainly say so. Well, I do miss some of all these teams that we bid goodbye to. A lot of those Malaysian teams and a few Vietnamese teams also did not make the cut. So we're looking at FFQ here, pointing a gun out in the open, and there's nothing much to
Cover, and they're stuck so close to one another. So even if any of the members fall, they should be able to get them up and running really quick.
That's definitely true. Like for Box Gaming, remember that route inside of Erangel where they really run rampant. They took out RRQ.ATHENA, and that is a great start for the members of Box Gaming. And I think that they're still in the running to actually get themselves up that spot. And we're talking about so many of these teams who kind of had that sort of a leeway into its qualifying for the global finals. Like we have Bigetron Esports as well as Mega Conquerors who already got that prelims secured. Same goes to ILLUMINATE, but which means that if they were to fight and get that top 2 position, which will directly qualify them into the global finals instead of playing the prelim rounds, which definitely is a great advantage above the rest.
But here comes Bigetron, Ryzen, and Microboy going to be leading the way as well. And once again, in between FFQ and Box, but they're caught up in a 5-hit chopper, taking a little bit of a hit coming from the upper side of the road. Same goes for Ryzen, taking a little bit of a damage from that drive-by, but he's got himself a little hard to work with. He's just going to heal up with the med kit.
Well, he did manage to spot out a level 2 helmet for himself to swap out for that broken one as well. So as for himself, he could possibly get himself back to 100% and regroup with the rest of his members. Well, EVOS Esports, what are they doing right in the middle of the road? That's definitely not safe. So Box Gaming, of course, have a little bit of that back and forth going on. FFQs did the same to any sort of team that cuts by as well. Now, I'm wondering, and towards the 10-minute mark, will there be any sort of casualties? Speaking of which, what happened to Hazel?
SnowLynx, I mean, they already lost one member, and now Hazel is going to be getting knocked down for the Vico as well. Could be a little bit of a driving accident. Don't want too much of that into the early game because you don't want to waste too much of your mad kits on silly accidents like that. While SnowLynx is just going to make sure that they heal him up. We do see SYX and I really breaking far away from the rest of the team, while Ryu, they are going up against members of RRQ.ATHENA.
RRQ.ATHENA fighting against Ryu right here, dropping a nade right across. Here comes some of these drums coming out, but instead, boom, takes a peek, and Ernie will be the first one to get that knock on board.
Yeah, we got Nap Echo nearby of Boink, so to make sure that RRQ.ATHENA can't push too well. Oh, Ernie and wide open. He gets the first spread onto Warround, comes onto the side, but Nightquick is there to cover the angle. Now he's on the ground, and boom, he still has to heal up before taking the fight. Well, Senior is going to revive Ernie.
Well, that's going to be a little bit of wraparound coming from D2E as well. He's getting chased by drone, and instead D2E goes down on the ground, which means only Senior is left. This is going to be pretty much a tough fight for him to fight off, and only one more member of RRQ.ATHENA stands as Ryu. I talk about them being so great at close quarter combat, and now Ernie trying to survive. He's the one member left in time to survive for RRQ.ATHENA. Now Bunk's going to find himself a little bit of trouble pushing right in. He's going to pop that energy drink as they are trying to get themselves healed up. Now a little bit of wraparound coming in from Ravon, and Ernie almost gets killed by that drone, and more members coming in from the side of Ryu. He's trying to fight for his life, and this will be the first team to fall. RRQ.ATHENA is down and out.
Yup, and Ryu, a really good fight just now. We saw them take up against RRQ.ATHENA, and while Gina was actually trying to push onto Warround, they had absolutely no window of opportunity to take the fight to Ryu.
That's right, and we're looking at Orange CG as well, having a little bit of that, and Fox is going to be right across that region. Yoodo Gank's going to be secured at one point without any sort of a commotion coming out from the rest of the members. Jughead's going to be taken out as well. Oh my goodness, that's going to be pretty tough for EVOS, losing 2 members. Well, or should I say 3 members at the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, Fox is not out just yet, but just the moment where I said the eye shot's going to take that kill away. Yoodo Gank with that snipe off, and that's going to be EVOS only left with Jaxi. Not the way you want to start Vikendi, but the best they can ask for is to hopefully Jaxi can get into the top 5 by trying to creep his way silently, but there's still a lot of luck to be factored in.
Well, they definitely could count on luck for a little bit. This is still early stages of the game, phase 2. closing in the span of 20 seconds. And, well, I do hope that Hazel is lucky enough because we saw him getting knocked earlier on.
The snow sled is really the only one that it's easy to maneuver in Vikendi, but you gotta work well with what you have. And now Jaxer gonna be all by himself. Mega Conquerors, they spot him out, but they're trying to Loki while trying to push up against this hill, but there's gonna be a slip down coming in. I think he thought that was an opponent. That panic spray coming out from I.
Well, definitely not a good sign at all, and that sort of lucky tap is not going to be lucky for him, though, because Captain Lewis is sure to take out the rest of Snowlinks. Though they are in their natural habitat, they won't be able to survive all too long, and they're going to be finished off in 15th place.
Yeah, a really awkward battle for the side of Snowlinks, while Box Gaming pick up only, I think, 3 kills coming up from that particular fight.
Yeah, I guess like that's definitely 2 kills perhaps getting secured, because I saw Hazel getting knocked out pretty far away. I'm not too sure whether or not did Box Gaming secure that 1 kill, but let's see where this next update will take us.
Yeah, it's probably going to land somewhere into Cosmodrome, I hope. And yep, it's going to be up on the north side where Postvosto, as well as a little bit of Peshkova, is being covered by the circle. But most of it on Cosmodrome where Orange are going to find themselves, you know, sort of putting themselves in the middle of Cosmodrome.
Oh yeah, and Ryu is pretty much far away on the west side as well, while over north we have Orange CG pretty much safe inside of Cosmodrome, like you mentioned. And the next team that possibly has a great place to actually camp out will be Mega Conquerors, which is smacked over on the southeast side. Now Zux is going to find Matt Time on the head, and Luxy instantly gets that kill in their favor. Well, that's how Bigetron usually would move around, taking 2 sides of the frozen river.
Got Limit the Murder watching onto the northern end, while Bigetron's taking the south, and VIP is really close by. And I really think Bigetron has a good fight here. If they can actually pincer down both Arm Jones and the side of Martin, is that Martin? Yeah, if Martin and Arm Jones both get pincered down by Bigetron, they can actually take this fight pretty well. You've got a Vivo, which is kind of frozen, so they can actually traverse on it. Not too much to worry about, although for the Murder, it really comes down to who makes the first move and how they're going to take this fight.
Oh, that's pretty much true, and I think that Illuminate the Murder could still buy enough time. They don't really have to commit all too much, but Bigetron Esports, they really want to make sure that they get as much kills as they can, because they lose too much of that advantage as they finish off with that 1 chicken dinner. Now we're looking at the AUG with it 8 times inside the bag. Purple Moon might be able to get it off the corners of Cosmodrome, but like I mentioned, Bigetron Red Aliens right there, they only get 1 point from the previous round, so more kills, the better.
Absolutely. And now we're going to see FFQ as well as Yoodo Gank playing a little bit on the hill, and Mega Conquerors are nearby, but we don't see too much of the action coming from Mega Conquerors. Same goes for the rest of the maps, where we saw them pick up the win on the first map of Sanhok. And I think surprisingly enough, even though we don't see too much of an action from them, they still get those points in the last few circles. They get high volumes of Q from team wipes, they get high positionings, and on top of it, they're looking to be really comfortable coming to the 4th game.
Oh, that's right. And I would say in that previous round inside Miramar, they were just unlucky that they were caught in that sort of crossfire where they could not actually move too much off of where RRQ was actually challenging them from. And RRQ as well as Mega Conquerors, they were just stuck right there healing themselves off. Well, now that we're inside of Vikendi, I think that it is unlikely that we're getting that sort of a heal-off battle outside of the zone, unless if that sort of team take too much time to actually rotate in. And I'm looking at Ryu, because Ryu is going to be taking their sweet time by the edge now over on the south side. And we saw them pretty much far on the west earlier on.
Yep, same goes for NFT as well. They're currently all the way on the northern end, a little bit north of Cosmodrome, where we saw Orange CG base themselves in. And I think you're absolutely right. They don't have to make too much of a rotation. It all comes down to the next phase of circle, which is going to be phase 4. Wherever that circle is, it's going to decide how these teams rotate. Same goes for VIP and Illuminator, a little bit more centric as compared to the rest of the teams, which means, you know, lesser rotations to make, and they can focus on just, you know, making the right entry, especially towards the side of Peshkova.
Oh my, look at that go. Like you mentioned a lot about Cosmodrome as well. Now this is going to go in towards the open grounds between Cosmo, Trevno, as well as Peshkova. Look at who's smack right in the middle. It's Purple Mood once again. Well, let's talk about Purple Mood, because Purple Mood, they are always in their circle for the right reasons.
I think they have a really good understanding of how the circle is going to be. And even if they don't end up in the circle, they always find the right timing to rotate. And this time around, they're going to reap the rewards. Well, I maybe be speaking too soon. They haven't exactly ripped the rewards, but
True.
they are looking really, really comfortable, especially coming into this update of this phase number 4. We already saw them perform really well in the map of Miramar, where they came in second place, only second to eliminate the murder.
That's right, and now we're seeing Ryu taking another rotation right here. Luxie's going to catch out Drod, and RK not having the best of time. They are currently at the bottom of the table, while Mega Conquerors are sharing this place alongside Ryu. Ryu does have that higher ground on top of that hill, but we've seen all too much of this action before, especially the ones by the corners of Dobo Mestro, but Mega Conquerors here will still be able to hold out this position, but they do know that some of these members of Ryu is right up on top.
On lane 24, just trying to find an angle to work with in this hut. And with all these hills surrounding the side of Mega Conquerors, I don't think there's much he can actually see. Roadfire is going to be the first one, always the scout of the team, pushing those boundaries for Mega Conquerors and trying to gain ground for the Thai side.
Well, Mega Conquerors here are definitely one of the heavy favorites. And now, speaking of the heavy favorites here, it's going to be Rob-Fire, the unkillable. Instead, gets knocked out in this battle here. Ryu possibly trying to get into position. A lot of smokes needs to be expended for them to go in for a rescue, while RK, look at what they have. It's FFQ stopping them on their tracks.
Cow is getting blown up by the side of Chopper as well, while F1's got the flank onto Drod and Zico, and that's going to be 3 kills in the back for the side of FFQ. We've got Hein, the only remaining member of ReaperKillers, and he's just going to wait this one out. He's already lost 3 members of his team, and there's not much that he can really do with, especially when you're all by yourself.
Well, I felt like he might as well have just backed himself in towards the other region of that zone, and now he's trying to tank the circle all by himself, but FFQ is going to do the same just to secure that 1 point mark. Mega Conquerors further committing in towards this battle against Ryu, and that circle is definitely not going to be helping them, but they got to make themselves across. And Ryu, some of these members are opting to back away because they understand they're not inside. And speaking of the zone, Chopper's going to be taken out by the blue.
We got EVOS taking a little bit of a shots towards the members of Ryu. You spoke about them trying to make the rotation in the circle, and I don't think Jexy's going to find anything here. Just trying to hope that he can find one, but there's none there. You talk about NFT being on the northern end of Cosmodrome, and now they are the ones that are inside. I think Orange CG might have lingered a little bit too long into Cosmodrome, and they might have a little bit of a difficulty trying to rotate out.
Yeah, and speaking of rotation here in Bigetron Esports, they're trying to move across the map. Zilli's going to bring out that micro Uzi, taking out Barry. Now, I'm really interested to see what's really going on between Yoodo Gank as well as Boom Esports, as we see VIP squad already inside the region of the forest as iShots goes in to take out Captain Thompson of Boom Esports.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit of spray coming in from Yoodo Gank, and they managed to find Boom Esports. Suave out in the open trying to save Ramones, and that's going to be their vehicles blown up. So if Boom ID, or rather Boom Esports this summer as they're known, if they don't have any more transportation, how exactly are they going to get out of that particular side of the map?
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be pretty tough for them. Well, there's more battle at the back. Mega Conquerors will find Darley as Rockfire is already up on his feet, and that leaves only F1 at the back. There's going to be bullets things pulled from the back though, so I'm not too sure what's really going on.
Well, for sure, FFQ getting taken out, and just in the blink of the eye, suddenly the Vietnam team gets taken out in 14th place, while Bigetron, they spot up members of Box Gaming just on the side, while Box Gaming, they're too occupied with Mega Conquerors to even be bothered with Bigetron.
Oh yes, Mask is going to be finding Pop-Pop, and now Boss the next one to fall. Yoodo Gank holding perfect position in this sort of battle, and Online 21 is going to take down the captain of Yoodo Gank.
Yep, and that's not gonna be all. We got Stones trying to find Hein right here. We spoke about how ReaperKillers are the only remaining member left, and now Bigetron getting taken out. Rise is gonna be the first one on the ground, while Yoodo Gank, they have yet to finish their business with Mega Conquerors.
Well, I was wrong. I thought Mount Barang was the one to fall, but instead he turned tides, and now Mega Conquerors having members hugging by the corners of the wall. Stone could not have much of a business to possibly deal. And this is going to be such a bad circle for Mega Conquerors. Look at that Southwest. We have VIP Squad as well as Bigetron. And the only team that's set foot in towards the next phase is NFT Esports.
Yeah, Mega Conquerors, they've got to push on the Yoodo Gank. And just on their flanks, we also have Box Gaming, who have that perfect vision. While Bigetron sitting pretty comfortable in that circle over there, in that hut. But they have to leave it pretty soon because that compound is going to be swallowed by the zone in just under 1 minute.
Oh, yes. That would possibly happen to many more teams to come. And now look at VIP Squad. They get pummeled by Bigetron Esports as they bring out and unleash that G36C exclusive to only Vikendi. I'm just going to find Yakuza as well. He's running right out in the open. Zuxi, he finds the tree. And now Heiko's in trouble as well. They're going to take a little bit of peek here and look at how many bullets have been pulled out. First a kid being popped there by Zuxi as well. It might just turn into a 2v1 if Ben V joins right in. Oh, he finds it in the hit.
Yeah, Zuxi is not too afraid to take a fight against members of Victorious in play. That's going to be 2 men knocked down. And Benvi is the only one left. He's hiding among the smokes. But Zuxi, he wants to finish his business. He spots out the back of Benvi. And that's going to be Victorious in play, knocked out in 12th place.
That is insane. I could not fathom how did Zuxi just went in as a one-man army, takes out Victorious in play, and they get themselves in towards that top 11. Orange CG going for the push, NFT holding them back as well. Can Orange win this trade?
That's what you get when you put one of the best scouts to work, and Zuxi getting 3 points in the bag for the side of Bigetron, while NFT fighting against Orange CG. That's going to be a molly to actually zone them out. But Bugs Gaming, they push against Purple Moon. That's going to be Novin out as well, while Lewis taking a bit of damage from CZ.
We're seeing that Gillicid over on the side of Jasper as well. And Boss Gaming only tucked by the corners of that small little rock that they have. But here comes Bigetron Esports getting spotted out as well. Micro is going to take out members of Illuminate the Murder. They are not stopping anytime soon. And look at Yoodo. He's holding over on the side of Boom Esports as we see 4 kills on the kill feed. And over on lower camp, we have NFT Esports dealing a lot of damage over onto Orange CG.
Boom Esports capitalizing on the mayhem that's happening right in front of them. And this is going to be GE finding Ramones. Suddenly, it doesn't look too bright after all. Well, GE still getting a little bit of protection from this smoke. And Mako, out from nowhere, finds a crit.
Wow, Marco still have enough time for the loots. Well, definitely you got to stock up for those final few moments. Now we're heading into it, the latest stages of phase 6. But oh my, GE, he just popped outside the smoke and Ryzen punishes him from afar.
But Ryzen himself isn't too safe. He has to make the move as the circle starts to close down. We really see stones from Mega Conquerors right behind them. That's going to be a Bigetron blowing up their vehicles because they want to use it for cover. But here comes the circle update. Ryu's the only one that's inside of it, which means all these teams coming from Eastern Front have to make a move, and they have to do it really fast.
They might have regretted their move of breaking out some of these vehicles because they needed to rotate, but they also needed that barricade for themselves. Liquid's going to find one in the hit, and Marco's holding the members of Bigetron members back.
EVOS only down to Jaxi. We spoke about how it's still possible for EVOS to get into the top 5, and they are so close. Only 8 more teams to go, and Jaxi, if he can actually take a couple of kills onto Gank, here comes the backstab. He steals that away from the rest, and Yoodo Gank, now they know where Jaxi are.
But what can they possibly do? Yoodo Gank, they're still not in the clear. They need to find a way to crash right through. And Jasper gets picked up by Ryzen. Ryzen with the sharp eyes once again. Bigetron here with a total of 7 kills.
And it could potentially increase. You got Marco out in the open. He managed to pick up the crit, but now Luxy coming in the vehicle while the rest of Bigetron are going to go on foot. We've got Boom on the nearby as well. Marco, he's hearing all his footsteps pretty close. He knows that Ryzen is by his side, but does he have the angle to work with?
He does have the AUG. He's walking straight in towards the Molotov. He needs to heal up. He does have enough, but Luxy's going to stab him from the back. Wow, Bigetron now with a total of 8 kills. They are looking, well, solid in towards securing that title once again as Kings of Vikendi.
It's going to be really tough for the rest of these teams, but NFT and Ryu still in that zone. And we got Ryu pushing up to the northern side, but look at that Microboy coming in. Rise up, finds out Suavel. Boom ID gets taken out, and we are down to the top 5 teams, but that might just drop really soon. NFT, 2 members here taken out. We got Zuxi on the floor. Same goes for Liquid as Bigetron and NFT lock hands for the first time in Vikendi.
Oh, look at Yoodo Gank trading back. Ryu's going to fall down to the ground as well, looking for eye shots. And that will be the rest of Yoodo Gank falling at top 5 position. Bigetron, NFT, Ryu, as well as EVOS still well alive. This is a circle for Indonesia.
Jaxi, he's the only remaining member of EVOS, and all the way from the top 14, he's going into the top 3. Bigetron on the side, still trying to find those kills, and as I speak of Jaxi, he gets taken out, but I'm sure the EVOS are pretty happy with that result. But both now going up against both Zuxi and Microboy, goes for the drop shot, and he tries to go for a little bit more spray, but that's that rock to protect both members of Bigetron.
Ryu, we see 3 members still left intact. The ones with the numbers advantage will definitely be Bigetron Esports. NFT still trying to defend. Masgaga crawling, bleeding out. He needs help from Papoy. He managed to walk right into that shade of the smoke. And Ryzen just by the corner. They do have that circle right upon it, which means the ball's on their court. The ball's on their court for Ryu to perhaps go in for the flush, but they need to walk through the entirety of that stretch, which will prove vital and pretty much lethal to Ryu.
Speak about having luck. Bigetron right now having that favorite circle, while the rest of Ryu and NFT, you spoke about them have to go through in this open spot. Luxy, he spots out the legs of Papoy. That's what you get when you put the best sniper in the world to work, and that's gonna be M16 spray, getting a little bit of taps on the members of NFT, while Ryu, they still got a little bit more to work with.
Well, Ryu's gonna drive by, and Drone's gonna distract them for a little bit more. He might just get taken out from the vehicle, and Luxy will finish the job instantaneously. And Ryu, 2 more members left, and look at that go. NFT's biting back. Bigetron Esports, they're finding one shot in towards the head of Ryzen, and now NFT's turn to shine.
Yeah, Bigetron, they still have 2 members up on the board. Warrock is the only remaining member left. That's going to be Boink on the floor. And suddenly, Bigetron are looking poised to pick up the 4th chicken dinner of the day. Luxy pushing up. He spots out Warrock on the right. Can he get the kill? Yes, he can! Bigetron, Kings of Vikendi, coming through to pick up their 2nd chicken dinner of day 1.
This is their 2nd chicken dinner, and as much as they fell flat in that previous round inside Miramar, they came back so strong in towards this match, and now they're setting the record high for day 1 in terms of the kill numbers, as we saw them popping up so many times in the feed. And, well, winner, chicken dinner number 2 goes in the hands of the team from Indonesia, Bigetron Red Aliens.
Yeah, we just saw the fans of the Indonesia squad happy as they are, like you said, record high in amount of kills for the Indonesian team, and not only that, 2 chicken dinners in the back. But they're going to tally up the results, and I wouldn't be surprised if Bigetron are now the top team.
Well, I would certainly say that they have risen, not from the ashes, from perhaps 3rd place or so.
Well, they do have Ryzen in their team. So.
Well, okay, to be fair, I love that pun. After this
it's not
sort
a
of
pun.
match, it's true.
Literally, they have Ryzen
yes,
in
they
their
do.
team.
Yes, they do. You don't have to emphasize that, my friend. But, well, speaking of Ryzen there, look at how sharp he is. Every corner he turns, he finds a kill. And it's all up to that very last stand where he was right in the middle. Of course, he gets punished by Ryu. But that sort of 3-way fight between all these 3 Indonesian teams goes to show that they are great tactically, and they're really solid on the offense. But, you know, Bigetron, if they do have 4-man advantage and towards that final circle, they usually will secure that sort of win 100%.
Yeah, I think if you're talking about Ryzen, then you got to speak about Zux as well. These 2 are one of the more aggressive ones out. Bigetron, obviously, we do see Ryzen as well as the side of Microboy that's always babysitting Luxy. But we saw in the fight how important it is to have that scout, that potent scout in Zuxi, who's just pushing in the front, getting so many kills of the kills, and getting those grounds covered for the side of Bigetron.
That's right. And of course, if you guys are currently watching the PUBG Mobile Club Open Fall Split Southeast Asia Championship, and what's better than the V17 Pro, as it brings you more immersive, more powerful performance, which gives you the edge to walk away with that glorious chicken dinner, just like how Bigetron Esports did.
Yeah, and if you want to catch up more premier esports events, you can follow VSPM, bring you PUBG Mobile action all year long. And remember, you can head on down into the PUBG Mobile Game Lobby event on 11th of November. That is to actually get your bonuses.
That's right, that's coming pretty soon. And not forgetting, we do have our global finals happening in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, my hometown, which will be from 29th November all the way to December the 1st. So make sure you guys head over onto this link down below to get yourselves those early bird tickets, so you don't want to miss out this historic event.
Yeah, for those who actually missed out the link, it's actually PMCO2019 .info/my ticket to actually get those tickets. I actually almost forgot about it. How could I? I'm always clicking on the link. I'm always clicking on the link.
You did not forget at all. It's just that it slid through your head because of how awesome Bigetron Esports was. Now let's have a look into the match 4 rankings. RCG dropped out pretty early, but they did secure some couple of kills. 2 points all the way up towards 11th place. It's going to be ReaperKillers as well as another team coming on top, but this is your top 8 here. Mega Conqueror's on 6 points, 7 points for Boom Esports, and Box Gaming with a total of 10 points.
And this is the Indonesia teams taking over for the side of Vikendi. You can see Ryu and Bigetron coming second and first respectively, 16 kills, and that's going to be matching Illuminate the Murder's record coming into Miramar. So that's the target, and that's the number to beat right now. 16 kills as well as the chicken dinner.
Oh, well, I would say that this is definitely a sort of a tie between them as well as Illuminate. Now we're looking at from 16 to 9th place, Yoodo Gank marching towards 9th place, as well as EVOS Esports in towards 11th. Jake C, sole surviving member, still managing to actually move so much higher in towards the standings. And now in towards the top 8, we have RRQ.ATHENA now sliding in towards 8th spot, sharing the same points with NFT. I would say Box Gaming still consistent on 6th place. Ryu moving forward to top 5, and look at them go. Bigetron, Red Aliens, 2 chicken dinners, 77 points. Mega Conquerors just right down below, only having a little bit of deficit right there.
Absolutely, 60 points coming in for the side of Bigetron Red Aliens, or rather not 60, but 40 points from the placements alone from the 2 chicken dinners.
Well, that's 2 chicken dinners. There's definitely going to be more to come. And now let's get ready for some of these highlights coming in for that match inside of Vikendi. So keep your eyes wide open for some of these stuff coming out from Bigetron. Well, it's not going.
well, we're still here, but the highlights are coming pretty soon. But so before that, what do you think about the next match?
Well, I do believe that we're going to see another epic battle coming real soon. And, yep, director says that there's still going to be the highlights for those of you guys. Well, we get bamboozled from time to time, but, well, we got to get used to that, my friend.
Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, we're having a little bit of fun coming to Grand Finals. And remember, we are currently in Bangkok, Thailand. So remember to catch those highlights as they're coming up on your screen right now.
Well, what a fantastic performance from all these teams here. 4 games has passed in day 1 in the grand finals here at the PUBG Mobile Club Open 2019 Southeast Asia Fall Split. My name is ICBaby12 and I'm going to be breaking down the games of Vikendi for you. So let's jump straight into the game themselves. So starting off into the map here, we see it in the map of Vikendi. It's flying from towards the eastern section, heading towards the northwest section, where you can see the circle light somewhere into the northeast section. So as the circle progresses, you can see all these teams eventually head towards the vicinities of Cosmodrome. So I'm going to be taking a little bit of pause here. So if you pay attention towards this ridge here, you can see this river, where a lot of teams need to actually cross this river before they actually take towards the next further fight here. Where I like what BTR was doing here, they actually set up a couple of the bridge camps there to try and pick off any of these teams and also delay movements coming from the western shoreline. So as the game progresses as well, you can see all these movements. They're wondering, where is it going to be? Everyone was struggling to push from the south, and it's not exactly easy to look for vehicles in the map of Vikendi. Eventually, the circle favored NFT, who's currently on the northern section here. And I like to take a moment where you see how Yoodo Gank was actually focusing on taking down those vehicles, because that is how important vehicles are, especially in the map of Vikendi, Erangel, and also Miramar in those regards. But eventually, as the game progressed, it ended up favoring towards Ryu, and you can see everyone was trying to push themselves in towards the circle, where it eventually ended up towards a 3-team situation. Like to take a pause here, you can see Ryu, BTR, and also NFT. And I like how this movement went, because if you pay attention to this, BTR had a vehicle there. Same goes for the UAZs as well. And I like that they held on to these vehicles for so long, since the beginning of the entire circle all the way towards this final fight. And eventually to a point where I think it was Varong was the one that was focused firing on towards the guys from Microboy and Zuxi for about a good solid 1 to 2 minute period, focusing on this fire on those UAZ, which allowed this window of opportunity for Luxi to actually rotate their way in and go in for the flank, while NFT was also engaging Ryu at the same time. So it was kind of like a mixed third-party action there, which was pretty nice and interesting. So let's proceed towards the final game. And eventually that was pretty much how BTR played the circle. And I like how Luxi as well, he was providing those kind of support fire towards the rest of his teammates who's engaging against the rest of members for NFT. But that's pretty much how it all went down here in the map of Vikendi. So I'm looking forward to see how the next game is going to be heading on here. But my name is ICBaby12, and this is going to be the PUBG Mobile Club Open 2019 Southeast Asia Fall Split Grand Finals. 4 games has passed, 3 more to go. Who will remain victorious and on top after today's games? See you in a bit.
Shoot beyond limits. 6 cameras, perfect shot. B17 Pro. Vivo.
sự tự tin sẽ phải có để giúp team giành chiến thắng nhiều hơn nhiều.
Trong team em là người sẽ đứng hỗ trợ và cover phía sau đồng đội. Khi mà tình huống quá cấp bách thì em sẽ đưa một cây súng dễ bắn nhất cho đồng đội của mình để hỗ trợ mình.
จากประสบการณ์รอบที่แล้วที่ได้มาแข่งก็ได้ประสบการณ์ก็คือพวกเกี่ยวกับรูปแบบการเล่นเพิ่มมากขึ้นครับส่วนที่มีอะไรเปลี่ยนแปลงก็น่าจะเป็นทีมที่เข้าแข่งขันมาใหม่เพราะว่าทุกทีมแข็งแกร่งขึ้นกว่าเดิมเยอะสไตล์การเล่นทีมไทยกับต่างชาติแตกต่างกันก็น่าจะเป็นเรื่องเกี่ยวกับ